February 2025. 14 Bandidos members were taken down in Houston, led away in handcuffs during a coordinated federal sweep. Just weeks later, Sin City Disciples founder Kenneth McGee was sentenced to 30 years in federal prison. 2 separate cases, 2 different gangs, 1 common weapon. A 55-year-old law the FBI is now using more aggressively than ever before. In 2025 alone, federal prosecutors dismantled more outlaw motorcycle gangs than in the previous 5 years combined. The law itself isn't new. The strategy is, and it's quietly rewriting the rules of the biker underworld. For decades, motorcycle gangs survived raids, arrests, and local prosecutions. So why are they collapsing now, falling faster than dominoes after years of pressure? The answer lies in a fundamental shift, turning brotherhood into evidence, turning street violence into federal conspiracies. This is how the FBI cracked the code. On February 19, 2025, federal agents executed a strike that marked a turning point in America's war against outlaw motorcycle gangs. Prosecutors in the Southern District of Texas unsealed a 22-count federal indictment charging 14 Bandidos members with racketeering, murder, assault, and drug trafficking. This wasn't a routine drug bust. It was the FBI's new playbook in action. The indictment revealed a 6-year investigation stretching from 2019 to 2025. Prosecutors described the Bandidos as a violent criminal enterprise operating openly on American streets. U.S. Attorney Nicholas Ganjay didn't soften his words. These crimes were committed openly and willingly, where any innocent member of the public could have been hurt or killed. The case centered on a brutal turf war in Houston that erupted in 2019. The rival, BU East, short for Brothers East. According to court records, National Bandidos leadership issued a smash-on-sight order. Translation: attack and kill rival members wherever they are found. This wasn't spontaneous violence. It was organized, directed, and enforced from the top down. FBI Special Agent in charge, Douglas Williams, made the reality clear. These are not the glamorized characters seen on television. These are vicious, violent men who regularly put innocent people in life-threatening danger. The indictment detailed 6 violent incidents. On September 26, 2020, Adam Burns was shot and killed during an attack involving 6 Bandidos members. Prosecutors identified Roy Gomez as the shooter, though he wasn't charged with murder in this case. Another attacker, John Pfeffer, faced federal charges. The violence escalated on June 3, 2023. A Ford F-150 pulled alongside a BU East member riding through Houston. The driver was John Splendorio, secretary of the Bandidos Central Houston chapter. His passenger, Stephen Alms, fired 7 shots into the rival biker. The victim survived. Alms later pleaded guilty to racketeering conspiracy and illegal firearm possession. When agents searched his home, they found a handgun and something far worse, a yellow notebook with Alms' name on it. Inside, handwritten words read, "Joined a gang, shot someone, robbed a lot of people." Some evidence speaks for itself. The most serious charge fell on David Vargas, accused of murder in aid of racketeering, a crime carrying a mandatory life sentence or even the death penalty. The message was clear. Federal prosecutors weren't just targeting shooters. They were dismantling the entire structure that enabled the violence. Why RICO changes everything. The Bandidos aren't a small local crew. Federal filings describe a transnational organization with up to 2,000 members in the U.S. and thousands more internationally, including strong ties to Mexico. They identify as a one-percenter gang, proudly claiming they operate outside society's rule. And that's exactly where the FBI struck. The legal weapon is RICO, the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, passed in 1970 to destroy the American mafia. Before RICO, mob bosses stayed clean while soldiers committed crimes. To prove a RICO case, prosecutors must show: 1. An enterprise existed. 2. It affected interstate commerce. 3. The defendant was associated with it. 4. They committed at least 2 predicate crimes within 10 years. Those crimes include murder, drug trafficking, extortion, arson, robbery, and witness intimidation. Sin City Disciples, a pyramid of crime. On January 31st, 2025, another major RICO conviction landed. Brandon Parks, former national president of the Sin City Disciples, was sentenced after an 18-day federal trial. But the real power behind the gang was founder Kenneth McGee. Federal prosecutors revealed McGee didn't just lead a motorcycle club. He ran a criminal pyramid scheme. Members were pressured to invest tens of thousands of dollars in narcotics trafficking, promised profits that never came. When they questioned him, violence followed. When agents raided McGee's home, they seized over $300,000 in cash, 8 firearms, hundreds of rounds of ammunition. McGee was sentenced to 30 years in federal prison at age 72. Others followed. Richard White, national enforcer, 17 years. Multiple leaders charged with attempted murder, extortion, and conspiracy. One murder shocked even seasoned investigators. On December 19, 2010, witness Jocelyn Pieface Blair was executed at a restaurant counter. She was scheduled to testify against a Sin City member. The hit was ordered from inside the organization. This was no motorcycle club. It was organized crime. What makes these cases different isn't just RICO, it's coordination. Modern prosecutions combine FBI, ATF, IRS criminal investigation, local and state police, OCDETF task forces. They use wiretaps, confidential informants, financial tracing, asset forfeiture, and sometimes deception. In Operation Trojan Shield, the FBI secretly ran an encrypted phone platform used by criminals worldwide. Every message was copied. Over 27 million communications were monitored. The result? 800 arrests across 16 countries. The contrast is clear when compared to the 2015 Twin Peaks shootout in Waco, Texas. There, prosecutors arrested 177 people indiscriminately. Result: 0 convictions, no patience, no precision, no strategy. Houston was different. 6 years of investigation, targeted indictments, documented chains of command. That's why it worked. What comes next? RICO prosecutions against motorcycle gangs are accelerating. The FBI now treats outlaw motorcycle gangs as transnational criminal organizations, not social clubs. Assets are seized, members flip, leaders face life sentences. The code of silence is breaking. Just as the mafia learned decades ago, RICO changes everything. And this time, the biker underworld is learning the lesson the hard way.